Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria Brea and I am an opera singer and I am expecting twins. I wanted to make this video because as an opera singer, I didn't find much information online about other singers going through pregnancy, especially pregnancy with twins. And I thought, why there is not such information available? I should make it available for other people so that whoever is going through this has something to go to and maybe relate in some experiences. Obviously, everyone is different and every pregnancy is different and every person who is pregnant is different. So take this information as just my own experience, and I hope that it can help you, and I hope that it can encourage many other women to talk about it and hopefully create a beautiful community where we can all experience this thing together and not feel so isolated. So currently I am 30 weeks to 31 weeks pregnant with twins, so my belly is quite big, and I have had a very nice pregnancy for the most part. I would like to talk about all the trimesters and what I experienced in each trimester and how I coped with it and how I found tools and how I had wonderful friends who were so supportive, who gave me incredibly valuable information. In my first trimester, I felt quite bad. It was terrible. It was actually during the quarantine, and I had 3 really bad months. I couldn't eat anything. I was always nauseous. I felt so tired. I had no energy for anything, and I was still teaching from home, and I was working, and I was recording for some stuff, so I didn't feel good at all. I didn't feel any energy. And for the women who are going through this right now, you have all my empathy and my love. Some things that helped were making sure that I took extra naps and that I just ate whatever I could eat. I know that sometimes that's not the best, but it was what I could eat. My body was craving very specific things and it was rejecting things that I loved. And as a vegetarian, I didn't want to eat spinach. I didn't want to eat any green stuff. I only wanted mashed potatoes, and it was so difficult. And so if you're going through this, just give yourself the opportunity to eat whatever you can stomach until it passes, because it will. After 3 months, all those symptoms were gone, and it was like magic. There was 1 week and I felt better. Something that really helped me in my first trimester was also walking around. It was so helpful. It got my stress out, and the walks sort of gave me motivation. Even though I was tired, I would go out and I would go to the river and just experience the fresh air and breathe, and that really helped me. It was so helpful during this time when I felt absolutely awful. And doing things that I also love doing, not forcing myself to do anything that I didn't want to do, unless it was work, obviously, was also such an important part of my wellness and my mental health. So I highly recommend any person who is pregnant. It doesn't matter if you are staying at home or if you are working outside, to take some time for yourself and make sure that you're resting, make sure that you're doing activities that make you feel better, so that you can get through those 3 months super quickly and, feel good, or as good as you can feel during this weird time while your body's adjusting with all those crazy hormones. Being pregnant with twins, finding out about twins, was also something that was incredibly shocking. I knew I was pregnant with twins about 6 or 7 weeks in my pregnancy, and it was definitely stronger than other people. They say that the hormones are gonna be higher, everything that is affecting your body is gonna affect you higher. So if you are pregnant with twins, just acknowledge that maybe someone who is not pregnant with twins will feel a little better, but you might feel very, very sick. And that is okay. Just know that it's hormones, know that it will pass, and know that you will feel better eventually. And in terms of singing, you will not feel much of a difference, I believe, except that you are not feeling great. You are gonna be able to breathe, you're gonna be able to phonate. My hormones, I hope so. My hormones did not affect me at all. So during this 3 months, I was singing like nothing was happening. Actually, most people didn't know I was pregnant. So even though it was during the quarantine, but every video I was doing, I was just fine, except that I was tired. So if you're working and you're singing a lot, just know that you will be tired and that you will need extra time for yourself. So maybe during the first 3 months, you have to make sure you don't get so many jobs, or you don't accept so many gigs. If you can maybe keep some gigs that are not so important for you and your career away as a singer, opera singer or non-opera singer, and that you think that's the right thing to do, go ahead and do that, because you might need more time to rest. And that's how I felt. I felt that I needed to sleep, and I felt that that was the right thing for me to do. Second trimester with twins. It was such a beautiful period. They usually call it the honeymoon period for some reason, because it's amazing. You feel great, and all of a sudden all the symptoms are gone for most people. At least in my case, that was what happened. But some people don't feel great. Some people still experience morning sickness, which morning sickness is all day long in the first trimester, at least for me. So don't feel guilty if that's your case. But if you are like me, even though I had twins, I was feeling great. I actually had lost some weight from my first trimester. My doctor was really happy about that. And I was just keeping my walks, and I felt like I could eat anything I desired to eat. Like, I was not rejecting food. My appetite came back to normal. I had certain cravings and certain things that I was leaning more towards to, like some certain kinds of cuisines that I really wanted to eat. And I also allowed myself to do that. And as I enter this trimester, second trimester is very beautiful because you get to see your babies more. In my case, babies. In the case of some people, baby. You get to see the ultrasounds and how they start moving in the ultrasounds. You still don't feel them, and you find out so many incredible things. You find out the gender of your baby, if that's something you're interested in, which is, you know, it's a personal decision. It doesn't have to be that way for everyone. And also, I think gender is not that important. And that was such a beautiful period. And I also enjoyed a lot just feeling this energy, feeling them grow, feeling my body change with it. And singing wise, for opera singers and other singers, I felt quite good during most of the time. And I felt the difference in my body from the breathing. I felt sort of the expansion that was happening, and it was great. I actually sang a full opera in the end of my second trimester to third trimester, and it was great. It was really great, and my body was totally fine. And it makes me realize how incredibly amazing our bodies are, you know, how incredibly beautiful and adaptable they are, and how grateful I am for that. I sang so much during my second trimester, and I wouldn't trade that for anything, because I felt my babies react to it. I felt that my babies were enjoying it. When I was around other singers, socially distancing, they were listening, or when my husband, who is a pianist, was playing, they were also reacting. So that was really, really awesome to experience and to to see that happen, and I never experienced that. I didn't mention that, but I'm a first-time mom. I've never had babies, so that was definitely beautiful. And for anyone who is in their second trimester, enjoy it, because I think it's the best trimester, at least in my experience. So I hope you enjoy that time and go for walks and do interesting things and learn more about what's happening with the babies. I was obsessed, and I'm still obsessed, to see everything that was growing, and when were they able to hear my voice or hear other people around. So it's a beautiful trimester, and it can be really, really rewarding. And the third trimester, it's definitely challenging. It's not like the first trimester where you're weird and you don't know what's happening with your body, and you feel unsettled in your tummy and stuff like that. But now you're big, and especially with twins, you are bigger. So I'm still doing some singing, and I recently did a recording, and I definitely feel my body being challenged. I feel my pelvis hurting, I feel my legs hurting, I feel very little space for breathing. Thank God I can still do some breathing in my back, and I can expand, and I work on it. I work on my support. That's something that you should work on too, and figure out how your body's changing, because your support is gonna feel different. Some people say that, they discover support, but everyone is different. So I definitely felt like I had to think about it. I had to think about where it was and everything, how it was changing. And as a teacher especially, I am very observant and sensitive to those things. So third trimester might be the trimester for many people to just stop maybe singing, especially if you're doing a role on stage. That might be a little bit hard. But if you feel like you can do it, and if you feel comfortable, and wherever you're working it's safe, I would say go for it and do it. But if you feel that it is too much for your body, and that it is too much to carry, and you need to stop, you have to stop. You gotta listen to your body. Everyone is different. If you have a high risk pregnancy, and there is some, there was some bleeding or some really difficult situation happening, or you have preeclampsia, or you have gestational diabetes, you might have to take other precautions for your pregnancy, and that is totally fine. And you should be supported, and you shouldn't feel guilty, because the most important thing is you and your babies, or your baby. So for me, it feels like this is the week to kind of start not singing so much, just practicing at home, sitting a little more, and resting more, because that's what my body needs. And if that's the right thing for the person, you should go for it. And everyone is different. For singers, I think it is very important to remember that our bodies are changing, that we need to do some readjusting, and you might want to also see a specialist, like talk to some special coach, or your voice teacher who has experience with pregnant women, so that you can also take advantage of this time for yourself. How are you gonna be approaching singing if you really don't want to stop singing? Because that could be totally possible, that you feel, if I stop singing, I'm going to get very sad, or I feel like I'm not getting anything accomplished, or I have a contract or a competition or anything important after I give birth. So you also want to talk to other people and find out about it. Getting ready for delivery. I think this is a very important topic for every person who is going to have a baby, or babies, especially babies. For people with twins, there is more of a risk in terms of birth, because sometimes they do not align and their heads are not down both at the same time, and maybe one is head down and the other one is not head down, and then you end up having two kinds of births. You give birth vaginally, and then you also have a C-section, and that can be a lot, you know, for a person who has a job that has nothing related with singing. It might be a little bit easier. No, I'm not saying that it will be easier, but recovery might, you know, you might get to work maybe sooner. But for us who work with our bodies, I think it's very important to think about it, talk about it with your partners. If you have a partner, you should be able to start planning about your delivery, and you should be able to start thinking about the possible scenarios, because you know we have zero control about this. All we can do is prepare. I want to have a natural birth, but I know that it could be impossible because of what's happening with me, you know, having twins. So all I can do is plan it. I have a birth plan. I've been writing my notes and the things that I wish and desire for my birth. But the moment it happens, I'm open-minded to anything that can come. And that means that if I have a C-section, I might have to wait a little bit longer in terms of singing, and that is okay, you know? And I have to acknowledge that, and I have to be ready for that mentally and emotionally. So that's the most important thing. Do your work, do your research before it happens, so that you can have as many scenarios as possible. And know that it doesn't matter how it turns out as long as you're safe, and as long as your babies or baby are safe. And don't worry, don't feel pressured by having to do everything a certain way, because that's how you imagine it. Just have as many options in your brain as possible. Last, I would like to ask you to please let me know in the comments if this information was useful for you. I would like to do more videos like this now that I'm taking time for myself, just to enjoy nesting and preparing for the coming time of my babies. And I hope that you found this video useful, so please let me know, and please subscribe to my channel so that you can support the kind of content that I want to do to help other singers and to help other people that are getting ready for birth, that have twins, or that are singers and need some guidance about this whole experience of being pregnant. So I wish you all the best during your journey, either if you are already pregnant or if you're thinking about it. All the best luck for you, and know that there are so many ways to do it, that there is no one way to do it, and that you have all my support. And whatever you need, if you need to write me or DM me, I'm going to leave my information right there in the comment section, in the description box, so that you can contact me. And thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.